Exciting. Switzerland. This is really exciting. This is the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life. I might be a little bit biased, but I do love Barrie. I never loved Barrie as much as I do coming back from the trip, but in the sense of natural beauty, this is the most beautiful place I've ever been in. It's called Interlaken. It means between lakes, and it's a city that it has a river running through it, and then the city is right in the middle. It's a little village, and then there's these two massive lakes. And I remember showing up there. It was $120 for a 2-hour train ride. It was the most beautiful train ride I've ever been on, so I wasn't pissed off that I had to take that. But I remember showing up, and I'd never been so happy. I just wanted to get out of the train. I'm like, I hope Interlaken looks like this. And I really wanted to question.
Have you been to BC?
Yes. No, I have not been to BC, but yes, very
I
good.
was wondering what you could compare. That's what I mean.
Yeah, so I've seen pictures of BC and Banff in Alberta, and it looked very similar. Yeah, just it was so bold here. Like when you see your neighbor's grass, and it's just like they have the best grass. It's like whatever they're doing. That's what this entire village looked like, and it was beautiful. It's so vibrant. And I was staying couch surfing, and these two boys from Wisconsin were staying there too, and they had done this huge hike all day. And I said there was supposed to be a huge storm the next day, and I really wanted to go in the mountains. And I said to them, "Hey, do you guys want to wake up at 5 a.m. and go do this huge hike with me?" And they were like, "Yeah, of course, that's what we were planning on doing." And I was like, "Oh, awesome," because I didn't want to go by myself. And so me and these two Wisconsin guys, they were around my age, we woke up at 5 a.m. I packed a huge thing of water, and I think I brought a small thing of rice, and I might have had like a little shake in the morning of my powder, veggie powder. And so we woke up at 5 a.m. We start doing these zigzags up the mountain through the woods, and then we decided it would be smart to hop on the tram tracks and just walk directly up. That would save time, especially if there's a storm coming in. And if anybody's ever seen the movie Stand By Me, I was getting thoughts of Stand By Me. Has anybody seen that movie?
Who is it with?
It's from the 90s. It's
Even before that. Matt Damon. No, not Matt Damon.
Matthew McConaughey?
No, way before
River
that.
Phoenix, isn't that his name?
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a scene in that movie where there's a
Okay.
train coming, and they don't really have an option to jump off the bridge. They have to keep running as fast as they can to not get hit by this train. So we're walking up these tram tracks, and it's 7 in the morning, and we're like, is there a tram going to be coming? You can't really jump off because it's just like a wall of like brick and or stone. And so we were walking really fast. Anyway, we're hiking up. We get to the top, see this stunning view, and I'm not sure where my video is, but best view I've ever seen in my life. We're above the clouds. The sun has risen. It's just the most magical scene you could ever imagine. And I have footage of it. We'll watch it in a second. And it was so stunning that your eyes can't absorb everything. And that happened a lot when I was traveling, because you can't see too many amazing landscapes in Barrie unless you're up high. But being here, it's just your eyes don't know what to do. And we continue on our trip, and I was ready to go down. That took us about 3 hours. I was ready to go down and call it a day. I was like, that was a great day. Like, let's call it a day. And they wanted to keep going, and it looked beautiful out, like no storms coming. And we come over the next ridge, and we see this animal, and I didn't even know what kind of animal it is. They're called ibex, and it had these huge horns, and we're just standing there. It was only one of them. And we're like, what do we do? It's on our path. Like, is this thing friendly? And I had suggested maybe we should throw a rock, like spook them. And then I was like, maybe that's not a good idea. So we just carefully walked on the side and walked around it. And then we walked over another ridge and came over, and we saw a whole family of them. And you should have seen them run down the mountain. It was incredible. Like, I wish I knew how to tame an ibex and ride the ibex down, because that's not how we went down the mountain. Sooner or later, the storm starts coming in, and we're expecting to get to the end of the trail, and the day before, our host told us, oh yeah, I had some friends do that trail. Be very careful because apparently they got lost on the trail. And we said, well, what do you mean? How do you get lost on the trail? You just stay on the tracks. And that's what happened to us. We got to the end of the trail expecting there to be a down trail, and it was just a drop. So we turn around and there's this black sky, and we said, okay, what are our options? We turn back 6 hours and fight the storm. We somehow try and scale down here, or we tame an ibex. Like, there weren't too many options. Okay, let's try and watch this, and you can imagine the rest of the story. It took us about 2.5 hours to get to the top.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, God.
So if you can see there how it goes down, at some point during our trip we kind of had to go down like that. And mind you, it was storming and like the ground was really wet. This was a day in my life that I was like, wow, I could die today. This is pretty crazy. My mom did not hear that, but it wasn't that thought. It was more of, Jeff, you need to be careful, like you need to give your full attention. Because I was extremely dehydrated at that point. Like I said, I only had one big bottle of water. So the storm started coming in. I don't look too happy there. Why were they still filming? I said, we need to hurry up. So this is kind of where we started going down. And you know, yeah, one slip, like, you never know. I thought one of us was gonna go down the mountain. I figured there's 3 of us, like. Our leader, his name was Joseph, and he had a walking stick, and he was just, I don't even know how these guys were able to do this, because they did a whole trek the day before, so they also trooped it out.
You gonna see how long it took you?
Yeah, it took us, we left at 5 in the morning, and we got back at 6 p.m.
How long did it take you to get us going down?
Oh, going down? Yeah, I think we started going down about 1 o'clock, so about 5, 6 hours.
5 or 6 hours.
I was on my butt like that for about 2 hours. So, this is a cool picture too. There was a moment when we were halfway on our hike, and this was really stupid, but there was nobody else hiking on the mountain that day, and we could see over the ledge. But one of the guys we were with, there was a boulder about this big, and he kind of pushed it off the ledge, and you could see. Again, that's not very smart at all, because there could be people walking. But we watched this rock fall, and it didn't stop falling. It was like this metaphor that was about to happen to us. Like, just continually just break you down as you kept going. And it wasn't so much the body, like my body was sore, but it was mostly a mind thing where you could see the lake the entire time you're going down, but for some reason you weren't getting closer, and it just broke down my mind over and over again, just like that rock. It just kept breaking into more pieces. And I remember waking up the next day and I couldn't even stand up, and like I had to carry that backpack to my next host's house. Luckily, he was only like 2 kilometers away, like, and because it's so expensive in Switzerland, I wasn't taking a cab or anything.